characteristics of the human speech signal. Let's first look at the envelope. This is an envelope of a speech signal normalized to the RMS value, which is the dotted line. And this envelope shows the modulation, which are the phonemes pronounced in this sentence. There's about 1 to 10 phonemes per second. And then the level varies very widely. Like, for example, the ratio of the peak to mean value is about 20 decibel, a factor of 10 here on this plot. A huge variation. And if we reduce the amplitude of this variation, then if we reduce it to less than 10 decibel, then the quality of the speech is really affected. So we have to keep more than 10 decibel crest factor. I repeat, the crest factor being the ratio of the peak to mean value. So the power of the amplifier must be sufficient in order to provide the sufficient crest factor. The spectrum. There's a standard 60-68-1 which gives the mean spectra for both female and male speech. And one can see that the max energy is below 500 Hertz. Studies have shown that the intelligibility is essentially located above 1 kilohertz, 1 to 8 kilohertz typically. And the acoustic comfort is dependent on the wide frequency band, like for example 100 Hertz to 12 kilohertz. But there is huge variation of this spectrum. Like, let's listen to some examples. For example, a female speech, number 1.
Vous pouvez disposer dans cette gare d'un buffet.
Right, with the spectrum that appears. Then another woman's speech with this new spectrum.
This is a test for speech intelligibility assessment.
And a third example of woman's speech.
Bienvenue pour cette présentation du réflecteur sonore actif.
One can see that these three examples do not really correspond, fit with the standard, the red curve here, and also that there are very wide variations amongst these three examples. Now, men speech, this green spectrum here.
Some people have a clear voice, others have a veiled or husky voice.
Okay, another example of a man speech which is has very low intelligibility with this spectrum, very different from the previous one.
L'objectif, c'est en 5 colonnes d'obtenir l'intelligibilité parfaite.
And a third one, which is actually my voice.
D'autres ont une voix sourde et voilée qu'il peut être difficile de comprendre.
So that one can see that there are about 20 decibel variation at mid and high frequencies, which is enormous. So it is, one has to keep in mind that the resulting intelligibility also depends on the speaker himself.